Hey folks, welcome back to the Rockin' Sea Homestead. My name is Lance, and today we're going to do a little bit of a garden update, but I do have to say spring is in the air. If you guys can see behind me, the red buds are blooming here in Oklahoma. I got some other video I'll throw in sometime throughout this thing, but man, it is just, they're just vibrant right now. And for those fishermen out there, if you didn't know this, crappie are supposed to be biting when the red buds are blooming. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're crappie fishermen, the red buds are blooming everywhere. So you may want to get out there and go fishing. If you can see those in the background. Wanted to give you guys a little quick update on our raised beds. So I was able to get some of the first layer of the backfilling of these things completed. But I think the raised beds have really came out pretty good. Like I was saying, we got them almost filled, at least the first layer of it filled, but I don't have enough wood to fill all of them. It just barely covered that one. I've contacted a local guy that cuts wood and delivers it, so we need some more wood for the fire pit for this coming season anyway, so I think I'm just going to get a rick of wood and use whatever I need for the flower bed, or not the flower bed, the garden beds, and then keep the rest for smoking and for the fire pit. So it's kind of a win-win-win all the way around for that. So you know, on this third section of our compost bin, I'm going to ask you guys a question here in a second. You know, it's a bunch of straw and hay and stuff that we got out of our out of our chicken coops and out of our goat pen. And I got a chicken on top of the chicken coop. Look at this. I have to flip this thing around. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Oh, she just jumped down. But we had a hen on top of the hen house. What is up with that? Wonder what caused her to get up there. We typically, you know, we haven't had the reason to clip wings or those kind of things, but man, we may have to if they're getting up there. All right, so anyways, chicken distraction. Since there's a bunch of straw and hay and it's already partially decomposed, I'm thinking that maybe the chicken manure may not be as hot. I don't know, that's one of the questions here. But when you start looking at some of these, like what Luke from In My Gardener puts out, how he sets up his raised beds, you know, he, in the middle of it, he puts down a section of hay, and he does what he calls charging it. So he just gets it super soaked, super wet, then he puts like his topsoil, whatever that layer for us would be, super soil on top of it. And that helps his beds be you don't have to water them as much. You don't have to deal with the moisture issues and the dryness as much as you would typically. So I'm wondering, and this is really what it comes down to. Here's a kind of a two-part question for you guys. Number one, could I use this as that material? And the second kind of part is or is the chicken manure still too hot? It hasn't decomposed enough. So let me know what you guys think. If that's a good method of using this, even though it's not completely composted yet at this point, but it could be enough, and then I wouldn't have to go out and buy, you know, a bale of hay or straw. I can just use what we already have, and it has some fertilizer built in for it. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd appreciate that. Last fall, or actually last summer I should say, we planted some herbs, and that was kind of our first time of really gardening, or kind of getting it set up to garden. And they did really, really well. And then it came time for winter, and we're like, well, do we want to scrap it? And for those who've been following the channel, we made some DIY low tunnels out of some PVC piping, flex pipe, and some plastic. And it really saved a ton of our herbs, and we even threw in some lettuce there at the fall, some lettuce and spinach to see if we can get that to grow. That DIY tunnel has really helped out our lettuce, our chives, our parsley, and our sage, and some oregano. It is just going crazy right now, let me tell you, going crazy. For Marcy and I, you know, we don't have green thumbs typically. You know, we are very much beginners in this process, but when you start seeing these things happen, successes like this, it really comes down to kind of why we're passionate about what we're doing out here on the homestead. You know, it's about trying to grow your own veggies, and, you know, producing your own eggs have more of a sustainable life. We're not all in. We still go to the grocery store all the time, but it's the little things. Like last week, I didn't have to get lettuce because I had all the lettuce that I needed. We got a ton of chives and sage and those kind of things where we've dried some last year and we still have some of that. I still have more to dry now. But these are the things that we really wanted to do. And I tell you, each and every one of you can do something. It may not be a lot, depending on your situation. And I know that even when we lived in the city, I think we made more excuses of why we didn't want to garden or why we couldn't garden. I think we spent more time telling ourselves we couldn't do something because of this, because of the dogs, because we have a small yard. Whatever it is, I think we could have found solutions for that. And I think that's a lot of people out there. If you think you want to grow a little bit of vegetables, grow a little bit of vegetables. Have a little garden. Do it in a little container. Get a 5-gallon bucket. Put a tomato plant in it. Make a little raised bed like ours. These are very small. Like this is 2 foot by 3 foot. This one's these are very tiny. Grow you some lettuce if you have a little spot like that. I think the main thing is just don't let yourself stop you, because I think that was some of our issues, is we let our own self stop us from doing things like that. We found an excuse not to do it, and now we just don't have that excuse, so we're just doing it. And I tell you, it is such a rewarding feeling to go inside, go to make a salad, and you're eating your own lettuce. I mean, I know it sounds simple and it sounds kind of cheesy, but man, there's a good feeling there. Just to have that ability, know that you planted that with your own hands, you spent the time to water it, nurture it, harvest it, and then it was time for you to be able to make something delicious out of it. And then that's what it comes down to. It's just fantastic that we're able to do this, and I'm telling you, I think you guys can too. So don't say that you're, don't let yourself talk yourself out of those type of things if you can, because you will be rewarded tenfold from the benefit of growing your own vegetables, or hey, maybe your city or wherever you live will let you have a couple chickens, and you have space to have a couple chickens. Go get a couple chickens. Go get you a couple hens and grow some eggs. I tell you, I am spoiled, 100% spoiled on fresh eggs. I cannot go out to a restaurant and eat eggs. It's just not worth it. They don't taste the same. They don't have the same flavor. When you get farm fresh eggs all the time, you get used to that. You don't want to go back. I guarantee you do not want to go back. Well, I'm just rambling here. I got to get some planting stuff done inside. We got to do some swaps and some splits. All right, folks, we've got to get some potty mix stirred up. Oh, hey, Noel, you want to come over here and get in the video? Okay. We got to get some potty mix stirred up and get some more of these little plastic containers ready so we can split some of the seedlings up, because we have quite a bit that need to be split. Okay, so with this, I'm just going to get it kind of partially filled, if you guys can see that or not. I'm kind of leaving the bigger hole in there for now, and then once we transplant it, I'll kind of put some dirt around it. Okay, so these are the ones I'm most concerned with. These are the Bumblebee purple tomatoes, little cherry tomatoes. We got them from Baker Creek. So how I'm gonna do this, start off with, I'm gonna see if I can just get all of it to come out. And then I'm gonna try to separate these things out here. See if I can get them separated out. They're pretty entangled. And this has 3 of them in there. I don't want to break anything. Oh, here we go, here we go. All right, so if you guys can see that. So what I did, just to kind of give a close-up, is I dumped that out. You can see these guys have pretty good root systems already. So I'm just trying to kind of tease out all the dirt. These are a little bit bigger plants than the last ones. Trying to be very gentle with the root system. I'm just trying to work the dirt out from around them until I can get them kind of separated out. As you can see, there's a pretty big root ball already started in there. I don't want to hurt them. Kind of feels like you're tearing them apart this way. Let's see. If you guys can see that. They're all intermingled. We should have done this a couple weeks ago, but get it so it doesn't rip them. Okay. All right, here we go. As you can see, this is a bigger plant, has much bigger roots in there. You guys can get a good view of that. Just like with the other ones, I buried the plant pretty deep, and I heard you can do that with tomatoes. So hopefully they will be just fine. We got all of the plants separated, the seedlings separated. I think we ended up with like 30 tomato plants, probably that many, or if not more, lettuce and spinach plants, the different varieties. The onions and peppers and bell peppers you can see here in front of me, they weren't as prolific, but we did end up with like 5 onions, maybe 5 bell peppers or banana peppers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bell peppers. But I did replant some banana peppers and bell peppers. I got a heat mat I'm going to put up underneath them, and we also got some onion bulbs that we're going to plant. So I don't think I'm going to plant any more onions in the seed form. We're just going to plant them that way. And we did have one other seed that we were going to plant, but we had to wait until like 2 or 3 weeks prior to them going out into the outdoors, and that is the watermelon that we got free from Baker Creek. And I started running out of space in little trays and little cups. So I saw this on a video from Stiver's Homestead, and I'm going to give it a try on my watermelon. And I think they call it the double cup method. So essentially, you just take a silo cup, plastic cup like this, and you just cut a couple holes in the bottom. And on mine I did 4. Just a small little slit, so if you guys can see that, maybe it'd be easier to see it this way. And you fill it full of dirt, just like we did here. And then what you do is you come in and you fill, and you need a cup that has no holes, and you fill it up for about 1 inch of water. And I just made a big old mess on the table. And then you just put this one in there, and it sucks the water up. Causes you not to water these as much, so it eliminates the need for watering as often. and it also stimulates the roots and gets them to draw water from below, and so it kind of propagates that root growth downwards, and hopefully create a more healthier root system, and to be able to wick up and draw the nutrients and water from the bottom. So we're gonna give it a try on our watermelon. I'm still gonna water the tops of these because they're pretty dry. Even though I did kind of put some water in that mixture, it's still pretty dry. So I'm still gonna put some water, especially at the very beginning here. And I have to go back and finish watering all of the rest of the plants that I split up. But man, I tell you, we are, I don't know if we're gonna be able to plant all of the plants we have seeded. So we'll see how many survive the transplant and see how that works out. But yeah, I mean, I think on some of them we're a little heavy-handed. There's one, I think of the broccoli, there was like, broccoli's little seeds, but there was like 7 seedlings that started all bunched together. It's crazy. But we got quite a bit of plants ready to go. Just need to get them watered in, and we're finished up. We are super excited about all the plants, especially after seeing all the ones that we just split there from all the seedlings. Probably have way too many than what we're actually going to be able to plant in these beds back here, but it's just amazing that we've got this far. We're super excited to bring you guys along. If you haven't subscribed yet, so you can follow along even more, hey, go down there and click on that subscribe button, kick that notification bell so you get notified every time we put up a video on YouTube, because sometimes they don't notify you. But again, thanks for coming back. We appreciate it. So from our homestead to yours, God bless and have a great day.